I do want to talk to you guys about some cards that I do have that aren't specifically travel related. I'm just going to briefly explain why I have them and whatnot. And I'm also going to talk about afterwards cards that I do plan on having in the future and what I'm possibly aiming for next. So let's move on to that next card. The first card that isn't necessarily travel related is this. It is the Apple card. Honestly, the only reason I have this is because I really like Apple products, and this card is really useful when I don't have my wallet on me or it's in my backpack or something and it's just really convenient. I can press this, I can double press this, or on my phone double press that, and it'll activate Apple Pay, and then I can pay through that. Another benefit is if I want to get the newest iPhone, right? I can use this card and then use it to pay over time without additional fees. So usually when you do like a monthly installments for a purchase, usually there's a tacked on additional fee to that. With Apple products specifically that you purchase at Apple, you can do no interest monthly installments, and it might be for some a good way to get your hands on that newest tech without having to shell out the full amount at one time. And that is one of the reasons why I have this card. Yeah, I actually almost never use this card specifically, this physical card. It's always Apple Pay. That's really the only reason I have this card. Let's move on to the next. Hey guys, it's Future Johan here, and I'm here to cut in to talk about the X1 Visa Signature card. And to be honest, I found that the footage that I did film previously didn't really cut into the topic as well as I wanted to and explain why I like this card. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I only have this card because my dad sent me a link about this card, and to be honest, it was just so we can both get further up the queue for the waitlist before this card was released. And eventually we got the notice that we can both apply, and we both applied and got the card. Now, the original premise for this card was to be a solution to a fairly common problem, and that problem being having a source of income but a not so great credit score. This was supposed to look at your income for approval and for your credit limit rather than what your credit score was. Nowadays, it doesn't quite work like that. It now looks at the credit score for the approval process, but it still maintains that it'll look at the income for the credit limit. So it's not as nice as before, but definitely still better than some other cards. Now, the reason I have this card and why I like it is for its virtual card system. And it's a little different than just putting it on my digital wallet. With this card, I can create several different cards that have slightly different numbers, and they are all connected to this card. So the benefit of having multiple virtual cards is basically just being able to track my purchases separately and have a unique card for a specific website or type of cost. Now, that in itself is an okay feature that I can split it off, have multiple running. The other thing you can do is you can give that virtual number to somebody else. They can use it and you can track that spending that way. That way it's not mixed in with your full spending or your main account. You can always cancel it separately, etc. The other reason I like to use this is for free trials. And that I think is probably the main reason I like this card is I can create a virtual card that will auto cancel within 24 hours. And that means when I sign up for a free trial that's asking for a credit card, it will recognize that it is a valid card. It'll give me the free trial. And then after 24 hours, well, the card auto cancels and then it can't recur and it can't charge, which is nice because sometimes I forget to cancel these things before they charge. So that is the main reason I enjoy this card. So let's move on to the next. So it's still future Johan here. I was gonna go back to past Johan, but it kind of turns out that I also got pretty rambly with explaining the cards that I'm looking for in the future, likely because that was the last section that I filmed and I was pretty tired by then. So I am here to kind of talk about it again here in a more succinct way. There are a few credit cards that I am looking for and I'm considering for my next card. The thing with those cards are, these are just cards that have been thrown out by a ton of point specialists, those who are traveling a lot. I have friends, family who have recommended these cards. And so these are cards that I've considered. I haven't looked too much into, but I'm still considering them. Now, the first of these cards that I want to mention that I likely won't get for a long time, if ever, is the Chase Freedom Flex card. And the only reason is because it has such a good synergy with the other two Chase cards that I do have, which are the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the Chase Freedom card. They all earn Chase points, which honestly, according to a lot of people, Chase points are pretty valuable because you can consistently get bonuses with their travel partners. And not only that, when you use this card, it has a rotating category feature where you can earn, I think, up to 5 times points, which is way more than almost any other card I've mentioned in this series so far. Now, the reason I'm likely not going to get this anytime soon, at the very least, is because I just have so many other cards that provide better benefits overall than just the 5 times rotating category. And so the next card that I want to mention is the VentureX card. Now, you might remember I mentioned that in video 1 with the other Capital One cards. And this one I'm leaning towards also as the next card or the card after that I get, mostly because it does provide a decent amount of benefits for a pretty low annual fee. The only reason why I'm not jumping out and trying to grab this card as soon as possible is because of 2 things. One, the bonus points that you would get if you meet a certain spend isn't the highest right now. And also, all of the benefits that are part of the Capital One card, I have via other cards. So it's not really that useful for me at this time. And it might become more useful in the future. I just know that for right now, it's not really beneficial for me. So the other 2 cards that I did want to mention are 2 Amex cards. The first card is the Amex Plaque card, and you will remember that I talked about that in video 2. I eventually want to get my own Amex Plaque card for myself, but at this time, just like with the VentureX card, I don't really need it right now. A lot of the benefits that I would have gotten with the VentureX card and the Amex Plaque card, I have via other cards. So at this time, definitely not worth the, I think, almost $700 annual fee. The other Amex card that I mentioned is the Delta Amex Reserve card, which is just the higher tier from the Delta Amex Gold card that I do have. And as previously mentioned, I just really like flying Delta, and that would be the only reason I have that card. The card that I am looking forward to, and I will likely be getting as my next credit card, is this card from Bilt, B-I-L-T. It is the Bilt, I believe, MasterCard. Now, the only reason that this popped up on my radar was because I was following a bunch of different credit card channels, a travel channel that have mentioned this cards in particular. And the main benefit of it is you can pay your rent, whether you live at a Bilt property or not, using this Bilt credit card. So you might be wondering, how does that work with a credit card? Well, the way that Bilt has explained it is you will still issue a normal credit card payment from your card, but what happens is they will write a physical check to your landlord so that they can receive a physical check and they can deposit it like normal as if they're receiving it from bank to bank. And not only that, if you have portal payments, just like we do here at my current apartment complex, you'll know that if you use a credit card, there are heavy fees involved. Well, the beauty is, because they have that account set up once you create this account, you'll also be able to make portal payments as if you're doing it straight from a bank account, so there are no credit card fees involved. Honestly, you earn so much with just that ease of use, and also you do earn plenty of points because rent is expensive. Not only can you earn a lot of points using your rent payments, you can also earn a lot of points and a lot of different perks on the first of every month. This changes from month to month, but for example, there was one month where you could earn globalist status or discoverist status pretty easily just by signing up to be a member of Bilt and not even apply for the credit card. Now again, these do change month to month, but for the most part, most of these benefits are pretty useful when you're trying to earn or rack up points for various things. So yeah, that Bilt card is the card that I'm most likely going to get next, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. And with that, that is all of the credit cards that I do have, the cards that I use, why I like them, and even the cards that I'm thinking about going for the future. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It was pretty fun making it, researching more into these cards and thinking about all the benefits and whatnot. So I hope you guys got something out of this. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I'll try to do better next time. If you did get something out of this, leave a like, comment down below. Starting after this video, we'll go back to the vlogs for each month, and then we'll do weekly vlogs afterwards. And yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming up, and I hope you guys stick around to watch them. I'll see you guys next time, and I am leaving. Bye-bye.